Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Derek Tappan. Welcome to Angels Saves Deals. I'm the owner of Angelman Roofing. I got Mr. Manny here with us today. This episode is called Nailed It, Insurance and Roofing. So, guys, we're going to talk about a bunch of talking points on deductibles, what to look for in your insurance policies, industry, what we're starting to see happen and trends in the industry, and just things to look for. So, buckle your seatbelts and get ready.
Excited, man. Excited.
I'm happy to have you, brother.
Thank you.
First guest in history. So
God, I got to share a little bit of that excitement with you, man. I am honored to be here, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Of course,
Thank you
brother.
for the opportunity to come out and nerd out
Absolutely.
about something that I'm very, very passionate about, which is helping families through coverage, through providing
Absolutely.
good coverage and affordable insurance to our communities.
Of course.
So, man, honestly, super excited to tee off this awesome series that you're doing.
Thank you.
Which is amazing, man.
Thank
Honestly,
you.
this is something that the community really needs,
100%.
which is knowledge, education, somebody friendly that is willing to just teach you.
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
And that's what we're here.
And
That's
guys,
what we're here, man.
we're going to backtrack a little bit as well. I wanted to kind of give a little story about how I met this gentleman. We were sponsoring events together with one of our really good friends, Monica,
Shout out to Monica.
the best in the business. And once we met, man, we got to talking about just deductibles and things like that. And he kind of saw that I had the plethora of knowledge that I think you didn't anticipate being a roofer. And that kind of just sparked a friendship. And I mean, we've now come to realize that we are connected in many different ways. High school friends, kind of grew up in the same
Crazy.
area. Yeah. So I thought there was no better guest to have on the first episode than yourself.
Thank you,
So
man.
I really appreciate you
means-
taking
that
the
means
time
a
out of
lot.
your day and coming and joining me in this adventure.
Thank you, man. No, that means a lot. And like you said, man, when we first met, one thing about me, and we share a very similar story, but value in education is something that I was raised
Right.
by, instilled by my grandfather at a very early age, as well as my parents. But as we took over these events and we are giving back to the community, we are able to relate on a topic that it's affecting so many homeowners across America.
Oh, absolutely.
Not just here, not just in Texas.
Absolutely.
This is happening everywhere.
From California
Right.
to New York, man.
Exactly.
You know?
And being able to, have you in the room and being able to bounce back as supporting the information that I'm giving our real estate professionals, it's priceless.
Oh, absolutely.
It's priceless, And another thing about my firm and my team is the power of teamwork and collaboration.
Of course.
Right? To me, it's very, very important. And to those people that know me out there, on my followers, right? I'm big on the acronym TEAM.
Absolutely.
What does TEAM stand for? Together,
Everyone
everybody
accomplishes
achieves
more.
More, right?
Absolutely.
And guys, that is one of the keys to success, right? Collaboration and teamwork. So, with that said, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here, man. Thank you.
Oh, of
Thank
course.
you to continue to impact so many families together, man.
Thank you,
and,
man.
And keep this show going.
Oh, absolutely, man.
The show
You'll be
rocking.
back. This is just episode 1, so he'll be
I
back.
hope so. I hope so. If
Hopefully,
not,
everybody
no
watches. I
feelings.
need all y'all to watch this episode
Please,
so it
please.
gets some traction here.
Right. And any feedback, guys, please let us know.
Absolutely.
Let us
If y'all
know.
have any recommendations, please drop them in the comments. We're always open to new ideas. And the whole prerogative of this podcast is to, educate everybody. So we will be bringing on real estate agents, brokers, title reps. I mean, you name it. I want other roofing company owners to come in. We're going to talk about things we're seeing in the industry. I just want to educate every homeowner, business owner, and just average human about what's going on in the world. I mean, there's so many changes happening every day. It's kind of hard. It becomes overwhelming to keep up with,
Correct.
You know, and if you're not connected with the right people, you'll be lost in the wind. You know what I
Agreed,
mean?
man. Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
absolutely. So Manny, one of the main things that I'm hearing from clients, man, is obviously insurance premiums, cost, deductibles, percentages. Can you give a little insight from what you're seeing on your side of the industry and why that's occurring so frequently?
For sure, man. Definitely. As you know, I mean, I love that we're starting off with our wallets, something that is actually affecting everybody across the spectrum.
Absolutely.
Right. Since 2015, we're seeing about a 70% increase in Texas
Yep.
on home insurance premiums.
Yep.
Now, what are those things that are driving the changes, right? So we got to remind ourselves what insurance companies do, right? They insure us, they protect us, they cover us based on risk. Right, is the main thing, guys. Risk. So
analysis.
if we live currently in an area we constantly seeing storms. Nothing happens in our area, but they're happening. There's storms happening. What does that mean, Manny? Give me examples. Houston, right? Galveston, Corpus Christi, right? Areas where there's potential hail damage. When there's hail damage, there's going to be a possibility of insurance companies coming in and having to help us out. Right, that's going to drive up the cost. Second thing, inflation.
Oh yeah,
right. Inflation is going to hit every industry. Period. We're not recession proof. We're not immune to increases. Right, it's going to increase. It's going to hit us as well. Right, just like everybody else.
Of course.
But the third and main important factor, and this is where I kind of want us to dive in more, is the replacement.
Oh yeah,
right. The increase of materials, labor,
absolutely,
contractors, the whole process, guys. If inflation is going up, if anything's going up, services are gonna go up.
Absolutely.
Right? So this is something that we are seeing across the spectrum. That is the main three factors that are driving the increase of homeownership, homeowners insurance today.
Absolutely.
Right. That is the main factor. Now, with that said, Derek, what on your spectrum, right? Because we are seeing the side effect from where you experience it, boots to the ground.
Right.
You are out there.
Yep.
You are replacing the roofs.
Yep.
You are consulting the clients. You're guiding them beginning to end.
Yep.
That once again, team, right?
Absolutely.
So what are the things that you're seeing that are affecting me as well? Like, what are those things that are affecting the price of insurance of roofing and the
absolutely
the price
so,
of roofing?
Shout out to Prodigy Insurance as well. I'm actually good friends with them. I happened to be at their office one day, and they showed me their national database that they all use for their company.
Okay.
In 2018 and 2019, what he showed me is the national average for that year, that fiscal year, was 3.8 storms. Now these are insured storms, so storms that caused catastrophic damage, right? Wow. That's what they're monitoring. Now he showed me from 2021 to 2022, it went from 3.8 in 2018 and 2019 to 13.2.
Wow.
That's how much more common storms are happening. So you got to think about it and correlate it to cost, right? So I get it from a business perspective in the insurance game. If you go from having 3 storms a year, and that's all you have to cover, to going to 13.
Correct.
In a 3-year span.
Correct.
That's a lot of money to fork out. And each one of these storms, we're talking $1 billion a storm. You know,
right.
That's just an average. I mean, every storm's going to vary, but I mean, you're forking out billions of dollars. They have to recuperate their costs somehow, right? And that's going to be based, like I chimed in earlier and said, risk analysis, right? That's what I think correlates to these insurance premiums going up, just how frequent these storms are coming.
Correct.
You know, and just like we could look at what happened 2 weeks ago in Kerrville. What a horrible incident. That whole storm had costs occurred to it.
Yeah.
You know, again, guys, that may not be where you live, but all these things are factoring in your insurance principles.
Yeah.
You know, so these things on top of inflation, like you mentioned earlier, you know, I remember before COVID, you know, 2x4s, don't quote me, were, $2.48 for an 8-footer.
Yep.
After COVID happened, they were $8.46.
Yep.
You know, and that's just one 8-foot 2x4.
Yep.
You know, now obviously they dropped down, but again, we're not dropping back down to the $2 cost.
Yeah.
We're not getting back there. So everything with inflation is getting more expensive.
I love that you bring up the pandemic and COVID as well. So correct me if I'm wrong, because this is actually what happened to us as well in the insurance industry. Did the suppliers, the main suppliers, wood, sheetrock, concrete, you name it,
Absolutely.
right? Did these guys lower the prices to help out the economy, help each other, right? Because it was tough, to the point that, made it affordable, but then later on they didn't expect that the demand was going to come up that high.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so. And you also, and a lot of people forget this too, is a lot of people weren't allowed to work during this duration of time.
Yeah.
So the amount of product in the market was a whole nother issue. right?
That's a great
So,
point.
like with us, we had a lot of delays. You know, asphalt shingles. That's one of the main things we install on residential homes.
Correct.
We were backlogged. I mean, specific colors you couldn't even get them. They cut their color waves down to 50%. So if you had, let's say 12 color options and one shingle line, we went from 12 to 4 or 5. So when we were after the storm trying to assist everyone,
Got it.
we couldn't go and give you all
Yeah.
the options because they weren't available. They just simply weren't available.
And it makes sense why 10 years later, right? Well, I wouldn't say 10 years later, but several years later,
Right.
we are seeing the effects
Still,
big time,
Still,
right? Which is
absolutely.
the same thing that happened to my industry,
Right.
Right. For example, right, I cover all spectrums of insurance, right? Auto insurance as well, right? One of them being very similar to home insurance, right?
Very.
But different in the same way. How? With auto insurance, you brought a very valid point. People were not working during that time, right?
They were
And guess
forced
what
not to.
about insurance, guys? It's a bill. It's a recurring bill that you got to pay every month.
Oh, yeah. It don't go away.
It's not going to go away. You have to if you want to comply to the law.
Right.
But if you don't, it's going to be more expensive. So, highly recommend complying, right? And always follow those laws, right? But that's exactly what happened, right? Insurance companies, we're humans, guys. Like they're also human beings. They drop the
absolutely.
prices across the entire spectrum,
Yep.
right? With and in this specific example, we're talking auto insurance,
Right.
They brought them down for people to afford auto insurance. However, we didn't consider that that we're going to experience snowvid, and which was the winter freeze,
Yep.
and all these different issues and I guess weather related storms issues that cause claims to be filed.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Now, Manny, what does auto have to do with the snowstorm? Guys, there were people on the roads.
Oh, and again,
People
even
wrecking.
with hail.
People with hail.
Hail-
People
hail
driving on,
crumbles.
people, what is the famous say? Don't drown, turn around.
Yep.
Guys, we're still driving into the water. Like I mean, we can't control that, right? You can, right? But it's what's happening on the cost.
Of course.
Right? That's exactly what's happening. So now, years later, it's insurance companies sound like remember, guys, what I explained at the beginning, they pay you out when
Yep.
there's losses. So they also got to stay afloat. They got to change regulations. They got to change laws. They got to change prices
Yep.
in order to be profitable,
Yep.
right? If you want to be with a reputable company,
Agreed.
right? Which dives into our next topic,
Right.
right? Very important,
Yep.
deductibles.
Absolutely. The
Right.
big, horrible D.
The big D, right? In insurance and roofing, right? Something that also brings us together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something that is very important, guys, for all the homeowners out there to have an experienced licensed insurance agent in your corner, as well as a roofer,
Absolutely.
right?
And a reputable one.
And a
at that.
reputable one.
Insured roofer.
Insured roofer. I love that you bring that up because that's another topic that we're going to talk about, licensing, right?
Yep.
So let's dive into deductibles, man. So on the deductible part, I'll let you start. We'll talk with you first, and then we'll talk the repercussions of my end, where you see it as well on my end, right? So with you, right? You have the homeowner. You have they want to file a claim.
Right.
Right. They call Derek. You're out there. What are you seeing the main issue with deductibles that makes you shiver? Because when we talked deductibles earlier, you're like, man, don't even get me started.
Oh, yeah.
You even took a sip of the monster, brother. I don't blame you. I'm even sweating myself.
It's one of the
right?
biggest battles we struggle
Agreed.
with,
Agreed.
especially with going through the insurance claim with the homeowner. There's not just one issue in that. So I would dissect that question, right? I would say the first thing is the way the insurance paperwork always lines a deductible out is they're gonna show you the cost. So basically, at the end of your supplement letter, you're going to see they're going to break it down, right? You have all these crazy line items showing what they're paying for, yada, yada. At the end of it, it's going to show net claim, then it's going to show deductible, and then it's going to show depreciation if the policy is a RCV, okay? We'll get into that later. But what it does is it shows, so the net claim is the first check that the homeowner is going to receive once the claim is approved, right? That's to get the work started. then the homeowner is required to pay their deductible. So what they do is they put a little minus sign, a little subtraction sign right next to that deductible. So what people correlate that to is, oh, well, that's done. That's covered. They already gave me the net claim. They're saying, oh, we subtracted the deductible. And here the homeowner is thinking they don't have to pay their deductible. And they might have a scam artist, fly-by-night contractor in their home telling them, oh, no, you don't need to worry about your deductible. Which, guys, that is insurance fraud if you do not pay your deductible. And let me be clear, that is a federal charge. So we do not participate in those types of deals. We require our homeowners. Now, we do offer financing because we'll get into this too, but based off your percentage of what your deductible is, that might be an absorbent amount of money. And most homeowners are not sitting around with $14,000 to just fork out at any given moment.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And so we offer things like 15-month interest-free, things like that. The second thing with deductibles I would have to get at is, again, it correlates to the percentage on the principal, right? So if you're at a 3% deductible, guys, what you need to realize is that's 3% of the home value, the appraisal value of that property. So if you're in a $400,000 house, I don't have my calculator. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and act like I got the number in my brain off the top of my head. But let's just say that's 14 grand. Okay. They might not be ready for that $14,000. And they may have not been aware that they could have bought that principal down to where they had a 1 or 2%. You know what I mean? Am I saying anything wrong?
No, you are. No.
Okay,
I'm locked in, man.
Okay, you got me nervous. You got me nervous because I'm speaking to an insurance specialist.
No, I'm locked in. You're right.
And so, those are things that when you're talking to an insurance agent like yourself, I pressure the homeowners.
Yep.
Really think about, now, if you're going to allocate the money and put it aside in case of a storm like this or something, and you're willing to take, save yourself $80 a month, $150 a month. I totally understand, but you need to be prepared for that.
Yep.
And another thing that we're seeing too is now they have a new percentage on named storms.
Massive
Love
change. You brought that up.
Okay, so
love you brought that
2 to 3% on any non-named storm. That's a general insurance policy. That's what everybody's gonna get, unless
Correct.
you request something different, like we discussed earlier. Now, if you get a named storm, Beryl, Harvey, Ike, any of these named storms, you are now at a minimum of a 5% deductible. 5%. Guys, that is an astronomical number when you're talking about a 5% of a $400,000 job. And again, this correlates back to what we discussed briefly a week ago. There's times where it doesn't even make sense to pay the 5% deductible because my cost is cheaper than what the insurance is trying to make you pay.
Boom.
Right?
Correct.
So it's one of those things, guys, you need to know. I know people look at insurance and they want coverage and obviously you're going to make sure you have it, but you might be on a fixed income or a budget. And but it's important to know these details of your policy so you're not taken off guard when you do need to utilize it.
100%.
Right. And I think that's the biggest, specifically with homeowners, right? Not on the car side or on commercial side, but homeowners. I feel like we got in a habit as a society of just signing contracts.
Correct.
And not reading the fine print.
Correct.
And it's bit everybody in the butt. We're all guilty of it, but we all do it because we're not trying to read 12 pages of fine print.
Correct.
Right.
And also, too, speaking with licensed professionals, whenever you want to stick to a craft, you want to stick to that one craft.
Yes.
If you want to do several, you might be good at it, but not great.
Yep.
Right. And at this point, we started off with affordability. We we kicked it off with costs. Right. If you are trying to have a peace of mind and you want to have to build what I tell my clients and my referral partners, the beautiful home ownership journey. What is that like? Somebody that can live in a home for whatever time that they want to, right? With no issues, costs, repairs, issues, right? Whatever. And also go and buy another one so they can invest and grow their investment portfolio, right? But those are steps. Now, you ask me, Manny, based on your experience, I've been doing this for 6 years now.
Right.
And I've talked to a lot of families, and that's my favorite thing about my job.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't even call it a job. It's a passion.
It's just helping people.
Helping people.
Right?
I get to talk to, how beautiful is this, Derek? I get to talk to a different individual in person every day.
Oh, and the stories
and
we
be
hear.
part of their story.
Yes.
Right. And but
Yes.
most importantly too, I understand the business that I'm in.
Yep.
I am here to protect your assets. The biggest investment that you purchase that you're going to make in your life.
Absolutely.
And if you have an issue, that's who you call, right? So I love that you brought up the relationship, right, and understanding, because that's what happens in my end,
Yep.
right? Now, why are you struggling? Why are you seeing these things, Derek? I'll tell you something, man. It's a lot of us insurance agents have a lot to do with it.
Really?
Right? Why? Because we are not taking the time to explain our clients this.
I love that you admitted that.
This is extreme ownership is valid, guys.
Yep.
Like, I'm not saying me, but we are not, the world ain't sunshine and rainbows.
100%. Well,
Right? It's a nasty plane and beat you down to the ground.
Oh,
like
100%.
Rocky always says, right?
BBB
But
ranked contractors. We are the most untrusted profession. I think it's 8 years consecutively now.
I love you say that. Let me ask you something, actually.
We're trying to change that.
When is the best? And guys, you and I, we speak in front of people quite a bit, in front of different professionals all the time. Derek, whenever our amazing partners introduce us, who is excited to be like, oh my God, Derek and Manny are here from insurance and roofing? Nobody.
And when we're done, they are.
Exactly.
When we're done, they are.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right. It's not about wearing the shoe, it's stepping into the shoe.
Agreed.
Right. Who said that? Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I've recently watched the Air movie again for the fourth time. Love it. I'm a big business nerd, but that's what it is.
Yep.
That's why I proudly wear Jordans. Right. Because
Yep.
it's not about the shoe. It's about stepping into it.
And I'm just
right?
an old man in Brooks.
It's
guys,
all good,
so.
guys. It's all good. He does have some awesome purple and white Jordans.
I did
gotta
forget.
say.
I
Those
did
are
forget.
they are pretty sick.
Oh no, Air Force Ones.
Air Force.
They're
They're
the OGs.
Oh, big
They're the
boys.
OGs.
Big
Yep.
boys.
Yep.
Oh, dude,
Yep.
you gotta love it.
Bring
I love
Nelly
it.
in. Where's Nelly at?
Anyways, sorry, man. This is alive with us.
Absolutely.
Alive in a day. But going back to our point, guys, yes, education. Now, Manny, how can we fight what's going on your end? Education.
Yeah. 100%.
Education.
Proper guidance.
So it's a process, right? And I will dive into it very briefly, right? It's very easy to understand. Guys, it starts with a good relationship. And let's talk new home buyers for now, right?
Absolutely.
New home buyers, you have to get educated on everything that you do, right? And that's why I love and respect so much and shout out to all my real estate professionals, right?
Absolutely.
My realtors.
We love y'all
But
so
I
much.
always say, all my realtors, right? You guys are the quarterbacks, right? And somebody yesterday mentioned, one of my mentors was like, what does that mean, right? And they are the quarterback, right? Because they're throwing the ball.
We're waiting downfield.
What is the quarterback's goal? Score a touchdown.
Yep.
He's got to score the touchdown. What is the touchdown for a realtor? And my touchdown and your touchdown. Clear to close.
Yep.
Clear to close,
Absolutely.
right? But based on my experience, and I'm part of amazing top producing teams.
Right.
And shout out to all my referral partners. And the reason why they're so successful and they provide such a wow experience to our clients is because they have good people in their team that they trust.
Agreed.
Right? That they trust.
Same morals and principles.
100%.
That's
right?
crucial.
One thing that Sports Illustrated as John Maxwell, a big leadership guru, they asked him to write a book about business ethics.
Okay.
And his response was, I can't do that. There's no such thing. And they came back and were like, what? Like, yeah, you either have him or you don't.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Right? So ethics is
Absolutely.
huge. Right?
Absolutely.
It's one of the main components of this conversation.
Oh,
right?
100%.
So coming back to understanding your deductibles, right? Understanding what the reason is and why I brought the realtors in place. Guys, let us talk to your client. Let us alleviate that responsibility off your plate. I know that the markets are tough. I know we're trying to get paid. We're trying to get this family in there, but we got to understand what we're doing, right?
Agreed.
The people that we're helping, right? And this is how. Why do I say that? Because by us speaking to the client, one, the relationship will be built, a long-lasting relationship.
That
right?
was what I was actually wanting to chime in. Is business is relationships.
100%. It is what it is.
It is.
People like to do business with who? People
Who
that
they trust and know. Absolutely.
agreed. Right?
Absolutely.
Every time, guys. And it doesn't have to be me every time. Highly recommend it. Give me a chance.
Same here.
I guarantee you. Give us a chance. Guarantee you, you will not go back. And if you do, right, you at least leave impacted and educated.
Yep.
That's very important, guys. Very important, right? So going back to my point. So as you speak to a professional, what do I do? What does it look like to me whenever I'm a homeowner and I talk to you?
Right.
It's going to be a great experience, not just necessarily because we're going to have a good time,
Right.
But we are going to understand what we're purchasing.
Yeah.
I'm going to understand if you are looking for a cheaper price, if you are price conscious, if you are coverage oriented, whatever it is, right? It is your policy. It's your home.
Right.
Right? We're going to build this together now. Now, guys, I know it's Manny, it's my new house. It's the first time I'm buying a house. I'm not familiar with it.
Yep.
Right? Give me examples. That is the key.
Yeah.
Right.
Call us.
Give us examples. So what do I do as we're building this structure, as we're structuring this insurance policy? We are talking about the components of it.
Right.
The components of an insurance policy.
Absolutely.
I love that you brought up the dwelling value.
Absolutely.
Right. Let's talk about something very important, guys. Replacement cost. So dwelling value, the number that Derek is referring to is the amount of money that your house is insured for.
Right.
Right.
Which is usually based off appraisal, correct?
It's based on a replacement cost estimator.
Oh, okay.
Very important, very good, very valid point, right?
Yep.
I get this question asked a lot.
Yep.
So a replacement cost estimator is a system that every carrier has. It's different for every carrier, right? Some carriers use a universal platform. Most of them like to have their own. What does that mean? You input the square footage of the house, the age of the roof, the specs of the home. Accurate information, right? If there's a roof that is 2005 and it has not been replaced, we have to put on there that it's 2005 because that's going to affect the dwelling value, the coverage also, and the insurance guidelines. Very important, right? So from there, once we input that number, that's what he gave us to the 400,000. Right. So this is a huge flag for everybody, guys. Not flag, but a golden nugget. Understand this. The replacement cost is not what the appraisal is include. No, the appraisal is including land and structure. In insurance, we are only insuring the main structure by itself.
Can I chime in real fast?
Yep.
Also, a valid point that a lot of homeowners aren't aware of, and I just wanted to touch on this really quickly, is say you have a detached garage.
I love that.
With no breezeway, there's no attachment. Guys, that structure 9 times out of 10, unless you specifically ask for that coverage, is not covered. When Beryl came, trees were slicing through detached garages, and homeowners were stuck with that entire cost. Because it was not part of their policy.
Yes, and I love you bring that up. This past week,
right,
I spoke with a gentleman, amazing client of mine, that was referred by a lender of mine, that he is aware of what he's purchasing. He's like, hey, in my land that I'm purchasing, I have 5 structures of barnuminium in a studio that I'm building.
Go him, first off.
Right. So what happened? My referral partner's like, you got to talk to Manny, right? Immediately. So what did the gentleman do? Call me. I'm like, Manny, hey, question. So I'm looking at the policy. I want you to explain to me, but are my 5 guest homes that are on the property, my studio and my barnuminium covered? Right. I'm like, in that policy, no. Right. We got to talk about that.
Absolutely.
But I'm so glad that we talked. I'm like, that sounds expensive. I'm like, no. You know what are we doing? We're simply letting the insurance company know what's happening.
Yep.
Right. Some people immediately, right, and it comes down to every insurance agent, right. I'm not saying that all of them that I'm the know-it-all. No. Everybody's different, right. But it comes down to the insurance agent properly knowing your carriers, knowing your risks, right, knowing your guidelines, right. I'm not gonna put you with a carrier that I know that they take roofs up to only 15 years,
right,
because they're gonna come out and cancel the policy. Period. They're just simply gonna cancel it, or they might not do an inspection. Derek will come out and they'll see that that the roof was not, it's the original roof,
Right.
or those structures were not included on the policy, and they'll deny your claim.
I've seen it happen a million times.
And it's exactly what's going on right now, guys. So it's not about like, oh, the insurance company doesn't like me. No. It's about insurance today, Derek. I will say it's not about calling and getting a quote or going online and getting a quote.
Right.
It's about finding an insurance company that will take you, because there's a lot of my clients that are watching that we had this conversation. Manny, how come I got a non-renew from Berkshire Hathaway? Nothing that you did wrong. They're simply pulling out of the market.
Yep. Man,
Right?
State
It's
Farm
super
just
fun.
did it to Texas, California.
It happens. What then, Manny, if I'm a homeowner and I receive that letter, what do? Call me. We'll find a better option for you, right? With time that avoids lapse, and we'll talk about it, right? So that is that it's very important for you to understand coverage, right?
Oh, of course.
So that is my part on the deductibles part, right?
Absolutely.
So summarizing what I just talked about on the process, right? Make sure that you speak to a professional.
Right.
Your real estate professional will guide you through the process and will refer you to a good insurance agent. And if not, give us a shot, right? I'm here to help. Derek is here to help. So after we speak, we're going to talk about the components of the policy, but also examples. This is the most important thing about this, guys. Examples. What does that mean, Manny?
Right.
Derek, I know that we want to go. I give my clients options every single time.
Oh, of course.
Right. I
We do it as well in our
and I
industry.
even label them every single time. And all my referral partners can attest to this. I give them a basic, I give them an enhanced option that I label recommended, and a high deductible option. What does that mean? I give them all spectrums.
Right.
I give them basic, I give them what I recommend, and I give them a high deductible option. So high, medium, low. Right. So we talk about each one of those three. Right. And what does that, Manny, what does the enhanced have versus the basic? The enhanced one is going to have water coverages, which we leave that for another conversation.
Yeah, we'll follow that up.
We'll
on
follow
another-
that up. Those have optional water coverages, right? The things that are covered, right? The things that are optional on your policy. You don't have to have them, but it's important for you to have,
Yep.
just in case it happens. Second option, basic. Same the same deductible as the first one, low deductible, right? I always gonna recommend the lowest, right? Of course, it's gonna be the highest price because
course.
I don't want you to have a problem.
Yep.
I don't want you to pay out of pocket. In the second option, it will be the same deductible, right? Basic, no water coverages. And the third one, high deductible. On the high deductible option, I always, especially with my clients that want to go with that option, I like to give them the example. Derek, so your house is insured at, as we discussed, it's $400,000.
Right.
I know you're going with a 5% deductible claim, right? I'm also not, like, I don't have a calculator with me,
Right.
but let's say that it's $45,000.
Right.
I don't like telling you, hey, you're looking at $45,000, Derek.
Of course.
Right? Because you're like, okay, cool. No, I like to tell you, hey, Derek, in case of a storm coming out and us having to replace your roof, right? You have a 15-year-old roof, Derek.
Right.
It's the possibilities of us having to replace it is higher than everybody else. If we come out, your deductible, it's going to be $25,000.
Right.
Right? And from there, we talk about, which I think that it's our next topic, claims.
Oh yeah.
Right? Which would then, I talk about claims.
Yep.
What do you tell them about claims? And guys, for the note, I'm not a claim adjuster.
Me neither. We want to be.
I'm a licensed insurance consultant.
And I am
right?
a roofing contractor, and I've dealt with many claims. So
Correct.
this is all based off experience.
Correct. And our job is to consult you.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's what we're doing.
You're
right?
our client. We have
We
your
are,
interest
and
in
we
our heart.
care, and we love you, and we don't want you to see what we saw and heard what we hear.
Yep.
Right. We don't want you to go through that. Right. So, with that said, I like to give them the example. Why? Because on the claim,
Right.
I like to explain to them how the claim process works on home insurance.
Right.
You and I are used to, and the standard American, it's used to auto claim.
Everybody's experienced. the
Everybody
fender
has.
bender.
And if you haven't, at least we're familiar with it.
Yep.
Pay their deductible, we get our vehicle fixed or back, right? In insurance, it's different. It's based on the claim settlement, which was what Derek talked about earlier today. The documents, the minus sign, that is a claim settlement, right? When the claim settlement comes is when surprises come. Right. That's when we find out what, don't have this, don't have that, right? Which leads me to my last thing, replacement cost versus actual cash value before we dive into claims.
Okay.
I spend time on explaining that, guys. RC versus ACV. If you attended my classes, right, our classes, I have handed out plenty of flyers telling you, warning you what that is. What does that mean, guys? Depreciation versus what's worth today, right? So our roof, we started with price for a reason, right? If the price of a roof, it's 70 times more expensive than 10 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
You can rest assured that it's gonna be, it's gonna cost. It's going to impact your deductible. So what do you recommend, Manny? Have a lower deductible. Mm-hmm. So what conversations I have with my clients, I tell them, hey, if you can lower your deductible, I will recommend it. I know prices are tough, right? And we're trying to keep the lowest premium. But all my new homeowners out there, I always recommend them, at least for the first year, to go with a lower deductible. If you have a old roof, go with a lower deductible because we have to replace it, right? So with that said, based on that, that it's important to understand these two things. So when the claim settlement comes in, right, we understand the process, we understand what we're looking for, we understand how much our deductible is.
Absolutely.
So very important, right?
And just my opinion on the matter. Stay away from ACV.
Yeah, always.
Please stay away. Guys, you're saving money, but at the end of the day, if you have a 15-year-old roof, they're deducting the depreciation of the cost of that roof. So where your roof costs you $16,000, let's just throw a number 16, with depreciation that you are no longer going to get it paid for out of your claim, you are now getting $6,000 to replace your roof. You got to fork it out. On top of this, if they approve you at $6,000, but remember, you still got a deductible. You still, even with an ACV policy, you still have a deductible. So now you only got $6,000 for the roof, but your deductible is $4,800. You shot yourself twice in the foot.
Exactly.
And I wish homeowners understood that. And I do understand the concept of price is everything. Okay, if it's not in your budget, it's not in your budget. I mean, I get that. But I think it's important. Again, I don't think people have a grasp of what the ACV policy truly means.
It's really true. Excuse me. And to vouch on what you said earlier about not necessarily, signing the contracts. Yeah, it's got to be done, right? But it's understanding what we're signing.
Absolutely.
Right? It's speaking to a professional, right? If I want to go buy a tire, right? I like cars, right? But I'm not an expert on tires.
Yep.
I'm gonna go and speak with an expert on tires because if not, warranties. What's the best product? Why? Because if I don't want to experience a flat tire a week after I bought a tire, right? Or when I need it,
and if I did, I want a warranty.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Or I just want to I want to understand the type of tire that I'm putting in my vehicle. And that I feel like that is what's hurting the consumer in America today.
Absolutely.
Right? Which is understanding the product.
Absolutely.
Right? So the key things to not necessarily sell, because I don't sell, I consult. Right?
Amen to that.
And it's know yourself, know your audience, and know your product.
Agreed.
Right.
In our business, we don't even use the term salesman.
Yeah, we don't.
That is not allowed.
I don't refer to even my team members. I don't even refer them as producers. They're my partners.
Yes.
They are people.
Team members.
They are people.
Yep.
People. Right. So, like this is something that is definitely has keeping me up for a while, man. Understanding deductibles because, guys, I mean, I get you. We get you.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you be upset if you sign it? You just bought a home. and you start having problems 6 months into living into the home, and you found out that you have to replace the roof, and the insurance company that you signed up for, or people that you trusted, it's not covering you.
Right.
Wouldn't you be upset?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Very much
That's
so.
why
Now you're
when
in
I
a
tell
bind
people I'm an
6 months
insurance
into
agent,
owning
they
your
want to
house.
stab me. I'm like, oh, hey, but then, right? They're like, actually, you're pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know. So
and what that brought up another topic I really want to touch on really quickly. So guys, I don't know if y'all have heard, but we have seen in the industry that so these insurance companies that are not sending an adjuster out to actually look at the home prior to you getting a policy. This is what I'm specifically talking about. So you'll call around, you'll get quotes, you're purchasing a property, you close on the property. They gave you a policy. They agreed to the policy. Well, then they come out 6 months later to finally do their assessment, and they look at your roof and tell you, oh, you have 30 days to replace your roof or we're dropping you.
yep.
Now think about that logically. You just spent $400,000 on a house. Obviously you didn't spend for it, but now you have a $400,000 loan. Your expenses went up, and now you're forced within a 30-day period to come up with the money to replace the roof out of pocket. And I'm seeing this happen reoccurring in the industry
Correct.
a lot right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's just something that everybody needs to be aware of. And guys, that's why it's important to call a roofing company. Call somebody that you trust to look at that property. If your real estate agent doesn't know me, please get them in contact with me. We do free assessments nonstop. We do photos, evidence. We do descriptions on every photo. We give what we believe the roof life is. Because, guys, that's all expert opinion. Everybody's opinion is going to be different unless we know definitively the install date. That's the only way we're going to know the life of the roof.
I love that, man. I love that you bring that up, because guess what, guys? And that leads us to one of our last talking points, which is prevention.
Yes.
Right. It's storm prevention, guys. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say storm prevention, but being aware that we are in an active hurricane season.
Yep.
And storms are getting crazier than we ever have before.
And that's till November.
To November. Very important.
Till November.
Very important, right? I personally live in San Antonio, Texas. My headquarters are out there. I have an office here in Houston as well. But out there, as we all know, in July 4th, we had a storm, a hurricane that we have never experienced in a very, I wouldn't say never, that we haven't experienced in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, y'all are very north.
So what does that mean, Manny? What happened there, right? I'm not a forecaster. I'm not a meteorologist. At this point, I'm kind of part-time. But what happened was that a big cloud, right, away from the water, right, generated on top of our city, on top of our region, right, and just rained and rained and rained.
Yep.
And rained and rained, right? We got impacted flood-wise. If it was Dallas, if it was near Oklahoma, guys, we're having hail. We're having baseball size, probably bowling size balls flying from the sky.
Yep.
I personally seen it because guess what, guys? Insurance in Dallas, I'm sure roofing is, it's a different ball game.
Oh, it's yeah.
It's very and to all my Dallas residents, shout out to y'all. And I know that I feel the pain. I know that we have seen the increase drastically in those premiums. But guys, don't think that it's you're doing something wrong. It's just simply your area. It's the area that is being impacted by hail, by wind, by heavy storms, right? That, remember, for losses equals price increase in insurance. Because they have to take care of you, right? We're happy to take care of you, right? Not we have to. We're happy to take care of you, but we have to meet on both ends.
Yeah,
right?
You got to be profitable.
So with that said, Derek, what would you say, like, with this storms coming, man, what would you say are like the top 3 or 5 recommendations that you give people to prepare for this storm season and avoid those insurance policies being canceled?
Yes. One thing I try to really push on my client base is if we know a storm's coming, get on our schedule, have us come out and do that free assessment. The reason, and I want to touch on why that's so crucial. So a lot of times you're going to have an older roof. So you might have some deterioration to the shingle. You might be losing some granule loss. It looks aged, right? So a lot of times what insurance providers, from what I've seen, this is all based off experience, they will correlate the damages to the deterioration of the roof. Okay. That's why getting an inspection done prior, I can prove to them that there was no damages and then come inspect after the storm. And I can directly show them the correlation between before the storm and after the storm. So there's no argument of where the damages, how the damages occurred. It's 100% because the storm came through. I think, making sure that all your components are completely sealed up. We're going to have high winds. You're going to want to ensure you have no penetration points on the roof. And just knowing that you have somebody like yourself in the back as well to call on and ask questions, me and you. Just having that team behind you to walk you through that process. Because claim process, guys, is stressful. It is not an easy process. That's why we typically try to assist our clients. We cannot speak on their behalf and we cannot guide them and force them to go a direction. But what we could do is give them the knowledge to make the right decision.
Yeah.
And that's what we're there to do.
Yeah.
Right? We're just there to assist and just based off of our experiences, what we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's very important information. And I would say, like, in my end with insurance, man, it's it also it's going to help me dive into our claims conversation, which I want to wrap us up. I want to wrap us up with that. But when it comes down to preparation with my end, man, it's going to be, and you're going to, I can see your smile after I start saying this. Trees touching the roof.
I didn't even touch on that. My apologies.
Very important.
Mechanical damage. That's what that's called. Mechanical damage.
Cut your trees, guys. If you see the tree branches close to your house, I know that you want to save the tree as much as you can. Believe me, I don't want you to kill trees. I love trees.
Yep.
Right? But I want you to make sure that you comply with the risk assessment of the insurance companies, because most companies, even if you go with the cheapest ones out there, if they want to stay afloat in the insurance business, they will do inspections.
Yep.
Right? So, like I said earlier, it's finding a company that will find you, provide you the coverage that you're looking for at an affordable price.
Absolutely.
It's very important. That's what insurance is nowadays, right? Home insurance. So, in all spectrums. Second thing, if you have an old roof, call Derek. Please.
Absolutely.
If you have issues, if there was a storm that came by your house, right? You see the neighbors replacing their roofs. It's important to have a roofer take a look at your roof. Why? Because not necessarily we have to replace it, but they're going to tell us the state, what's going on, how does it look like? Why? Because maybe at that time, and this has happened before with a lot of my clients, that they either their current insurance company is no longer offering coverage at renewal, right? But they're able to file a claim with them.
Yep.
Because they actually offering a lower deductible than the new option that I found for them. So that puts you in a better position, right?
100%.
So understand your coverage is the third thing, right? Make sure that you speak with a licensed professional. Speak with a licensed professional that you like, that you trust, and ask him about your coverage.
Right.
Ask him about the company, right? And I want you to pull out your notes on this. This is very important, right? Look at the company. Where are they from? Not the claim experience, right? We're going to talk about that in a second. Not the claim experience. Everybody has had their experience, and unfortunately, not having a knowledgeable agent will affect you. It's going to affect your process. It's going to affect your claim. That's why you're seeing those reviews, right? So look at the company. Understand the policy, the coverages. Just like there's different brands of cars out there and different models of the car, right? There's different types of policies out there, right? If it's a Corolla XS, there's an XSE, there's an X. Understanding the difference between the policies. Third thing, right? Understand the deductible amount. Have the agent ask him, run through scenarios. Hey, Manny, if my roof needs to be replaced, how much am I looking at, right? If a fire erupts, how much are you looking at? That's the difference between understanding your coverage and your deductibles. Very, very important, right? And the last thing too, guys, shop around your insurance every year. Doesn't mean that you have to look at that you have to switch. But the smart shoppers in today's world shop around every year. Right?
Most companies will offer a price match.
100%, guys. What I do with my clients, I like to call this market analysis. They all know the moment that they receive the renewal in the mail, right? And that is a month before, right? Before it renews, usually. Sometimes more. Sometimes sometimes earlier than that, right? You're going to receive your renewal. And then that's when I recommend you calling me.
Right.
Because that's when we make coverages. That's when we call Derek. That's when we are, hey, I know that your time frame, we are a 12-year roof. You know, I still found you a replacement cost policy, but it's important for you to understand that if we switch you over to the cheaper one, we are going to take depreciation on that roof.
Absolutely.
So I don't want you to be in that position, right? So very important. This is how I recommend my clients to prepare for the storms.
Right.
Right? So know your coverage, understand your coverage, prepare, take care of your home, right? If there's trees, if there's hazards, right? If there's sidewalks lifted on the side, if there's wires coming out on the side of the house,
Leaf debris everywhere.
Leaf debris.
Gutters clogged.
Gutters clogged. Clean your gutters, right? Those things are important because that can potentially lead to a claim that you have to use your insurance. You don't, trust me, you don't want to use your insurance, right? I can tell you with the fingers on my hands, the times that I have spoken to my clients about filing claims, because it's very rare for them to file them. But when they do, they have such a great experience.
And one thing I want to touch on too, when you file a claim, they don't penalize you for it. So guys, don't be scared to file a claim. They could deny you all day long, that's fine. But it does not hurt to go that process and see if there is the damages and coverage on those damages.
Exactly. And guys, I love that you brought that up. Guys, and closing up on the claim side, when it comes down to you filing a claim, if you have a broker, right, call your broker before you file a claim. A broker is different than the insurance company. A broker represents you and the insurance company.
Middleman.
Right? Middleman. It's important. Why? Because if you call the insurance company, I have a lot of clients, especially recently, they have $0 claims on their record. What does that mean? That the claim was filed, but they didn't pay out because they saw their deductible and they're like, never mind. Guess what those are for insurance companies? Red flags. You don't want that.
Yep.
You don't want those.
Absolutely.
You don't want to file those. Why? For what?
Yep.
For a question?
Yeah.
That's why we're here, right? That's why
absolutely.
our model is so much better than everybody else's, right? Because we're able to service our clients and advise them before they file the claim.
That we're the same way. So what I always recommend people do, give us a call. You think, we had a bad storm. You notice your neighbor's missing 7 shingles on one side of their house and it was in your backyard. Give us a call. Give the contractor a call. Let us get out there. Let us do a full inspection. And we will tell you if we believe you have enough damage. Because at the same time, we're not trying to waste anyone's time. We're not trying to waste our client's time, the insurance company's time. I mean, everything costs money. Driving out to your home to do the assessment, having an adjuster drive out to your home to do an assessment, all these things add up. And so it's really crucial to just call somebody you trust. And guys, somebody that's going to tell you the truth.
100%, guys.
There's a lot of roofing contractors, hence why we're the most untrusted profession, okay? That will get up there and vandalize your roof.
100%, guys. And I love that you bring that up. On that side, one thing too, when we're talking about the roofers, right? Different roofers. Do not, and I have clients actually live call me when this happens, that we're about to do it. They want to sign up right then and there. They're signing that the roof, whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. I have referred many clients to Derek, and they have never called me and asked me, hey, Derek is wanting me to sign this right now, today, on the first inspection day.
Never.
Like, no. That is a red flag, guys. Right?
The only
It's
time we
important.
incorporate a contingency is if we, after a heavy storm, we do an emergency. We have an emergency response team, trailer, plywood, tarps. We're ready to go if any storm comes through. If we're going to go ahead and we don't charge you for the tarping, we'll have a contingency agreement, obviously, that you'll utilize us for the repairs.
Correct.
That is the only piece of paperwork, guys, that I'm going to give you if it's that type of scenario. Nobody should ever give you any type of contract, especially on the insurance side. Now, I'm going to give you paperwork that matches your insurance paperwork that's within agreement to us. But besides that, it should replicate.
100%.
There shouldn't be anything else.
100%. Because I had, especially my bilingual clients, that it's the first time buying a house, and they could they work really hard to purchase the home,
Right.
and they started seeing leaks across, but they see that, that the guy that replaced their neighbor's roof, it's coming over and telling them like they can, but they gotta sign this contract before they even start anything.
Right.
Guys, that's a red flag,
Oh, absolutely.
right? And we don't. That's what it comes down to: consultation, having professionals on your corner.
Absolutely.
Having professionals on your
And
corner.
again, even on our side, guys, just because you get a denial, that's not the end of the road. Okay, so again, when it comes to a claim, you have a public adjuster typically that's going to come out. A desk adjuster is going to handle the claim in the office. You're going to have a public adjuster out in the field doing the inspection and getting an assessment. So they might think that there's not enough damage, but that's the opinion of those adjusters. Okay, now as a contractor, I may, from knowing what is required, hail hits, wind damage, we know what they typically require. We're going to know if it's there or not. So in that case, we're just going to say, hey, ask for another adjuster. That's going to be phase 2. Phase 3, typically you would go to a public adjuster, a third-party public adjuster, and then that's the route you take. We typically skip that step, guys, and we go straight to appraisal. Because we're not going to argue. We already lost with 2 adjusters. Why waste the time with a public adjuster? Let's go straight to appraisal.
That's huge.
And so
That is huge.
and honestly, in a lot of scenarios, I'm gonna cover the cost of that private appraiser because I know there's damage there. I'm willing to take the risk and lose the thousands of dollars on it.
That's unheard of, guys.
And that's what we do.
It's
We've
not
actually had
normal.
one scenario where we lost it. One scenario.
Yeah.
But the next step beyond appraisal, if you don't get the win out of the appraisal, is you got to go to the attorney route.
Yeah.
And my homeowner in this scenario was single income household, multiple kids. They just couldn't afford to go to the attorney route. They believed in us and the damages. We showed them everything. But again, it's going to go down to what your budget allows you to do.
Agreed.
And that's what we're there to assist. We're going to accommodate whatever is in your budget.
Agreed.
We have multiple different levels of roofing systems, all that kind of stuff to accommodate whatever your needs are.
Yeah.
So,
Man, that's awesome. So, I mean, we covered pretty much all the spectrums of insurance, man. Any other recommendations that you give or our homeowners, man, that we have for our homeowners when it comes down to on replacing a roof, a claim process, the biggest challenges that a homeowner feel
right.
is facing right now.
Man, I hate to revert back to it, but shoddy contractors, man.
Yeah.
Shady people.
Yeah.
I see it all.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I had a woman, I won't say her name for privacy reasons, but I got referred to her from a really good friend of mine. Shout out Michael. And basically what happened is she had a door knocker after a storm knock on her door. She answers the door. Her and the gentleman hit it off. He told her he was going to take her through the insurance process, met with the adjuster during the inspection, assisted him in his inspection, got the approval, got her net claim and her deductible, had her, unbeknownst to her, write it out to him, went, cashed it, and disappeared. Took all her insurance money. Luckily, she had a RCV policy. I was able to replace her roof, broke even, replace her roof with a cheaper, lower end 30-year architectural shingle.
Wow.
For her depreciation check.
Wow.
And I had to, obviously, now I don't know if you remember when Lighthouse went out of business.
Oh yeah.
So she had Lighthouse. Lighthouse approved the claim, went out
They're
of
a good
business
company, man.
in the middle of this. And so there was it was a lot. But I had to wait 6.5 months for that depreciation check. But I was not going to sit here. She had just beaten cancer.
Wow.
She was a widow. I was not going to let her sit there and see her get taken advantage of to that degree. And I knew I could help and not do it. Right? Like
I'm so glad you went the extra mile, man.
Oh, she's still one of my biggest referrals.
And you know what? I tell you something, it ties to like on my end, man. Like by you saying the name of the company right then and there, I was like, yeah, I knew. I figured what they paid out.
Yeah.
Lighthouse is no longer in business.
Nope.
But they were one of the best insurance companies.
Oh, hands down.
We competed against them because we could never broker them out.
Right.
They didn't allow us to broker out with them. It just simply didn't make financial sense for both ends. But when it comes down to the Lighthouse product, my aunt had it.
Oh, yeah.
Replacement on the. It's a fantastic HO3 product.
Yep.
But it's up to us insurance agents tell you, be like,
Absolutely.
hey, like these are the features of the car, right? God, that girl, that lady would have known, hey, at least I have a good insurance company. She would have been as devastated,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's definitely devastating what happened to her.
And I wanted to-
but definitely good news to be like, at least I have an insurance company.
Oh, absolutely. And I wanted to touch on too. A lot of people ask me, well, okay, we deal with everybody. You know, we deal with State Farm, we deal with farmers, we deal with them all, guys. USAA. I've dealt with every insurance company in the claims process. And people ask me like, oh, well, who's the best one? And I'll be honest, it's seasonal. It is 100%. I used to say, I'm gonna stop myself. I used to say one company was great, and I truly believe that. Their claims process was always smooth. The adjuster would approve it, wired check before he left the house. You probably know who I'm talking about just based off of that.
Yep.
That company is now one of my least favorite to work with. So guys, it is seasonal, and I think again it goes back to the agents you're dealing with. Okay, who's in your corner, who's fighting for you on your behalf. I think having that team behind you is so crucial, especially in those types of processes and situations, right? Yeah. But yeah, they you can't really say one's better than the other. Sometimes it really is. I think situational, right?
Agreed.
Situational.
It's the same thing in insurance, man. Like, and it's so I can relate to what you're saying because every carrier is different.
Absolutely.
In every market.
Absolutely.
Right? There's different carriers right now. They won the high risk market in Houston. They won it.
Yep.
Right. They might be headquartered out in Florida. They don't write in Florida, but
they are used to high risk in Florida.
Exactly. So they create products for high risk areas.
Absolutely.
Around now, the price is not going to be your Payless price.
Right.
You're probably going to have to pay your Foot Locker price.
Oh yeah.
But you're getting the Foot Locker price experience.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
100%.
So it's
referee shirt and all. Yeah.
It's like exactly. So I love you bringing it up because that's exactly what's going on, guys. So to summarize, what the last point here, guys, make sure that you are familiar with your business partner, the contractor that you are hiring, the insurance agent that you decide to do business with, the real estate professional that you decide to do business with. Make sure that you trust them. Make sure that they're educating you on what you are purchasing, yes. Right? In the insurance world, it's important to talk about policy, company,
yep.
coverage, right? Which leads to price, right? Which the price leads to experience. The price, we're paying for something, guys.
Oh yeah, it's Burger King to Perry's.
Exactly. We're paying for something. So it's important for you to protect it, right? That is why, and I love that you brought the truth and reality.
Absolutely.
Right? That is what my last name stands for, right? I've came to realize Trill, right? Truth and reality, right? It's the truth. That is what I live by. And times are tough, guys, but I tell you something, people that do things the right way will always succeed.
Always.
You always have to do it the right way.
God always got his followers.
Correct.
Always.
Correct,
he
man.
will not allow you to fail.
Correct.
Even when you feel like you are.
Correct. Man, to wrap it up, where can we find Derek?
Facebook.
Other than in the streets. Guys, if y'all haven't seen these guys' trucks, Lord.
Yeah, we got a few running around town.
In and out, like everywhere. If we're talking about our gym, Rise, like shout out to y'all. I saw his truck there. That's how I know.
We got the whole staff memberships there, so all we are heavy in.
When isn't it cool to work for this man? Oh,
but man, social media, Facebook's, Instagram. You can also find us at www.angelmanroofing.com. Trying to think, we got it. Obviously, YouTube with the podcast here.
Woo! That's exciting. Let's go.
I'm so excited, man. And again, guys, I just want to touch on this is the purpose. This is what I wanted this podcast to be. I want to educate everyone. Every single encounter we're going to have on this podcast is going to be somebody from the housing market industry, whether that be contractors, whether that be insurance, whether that be transactional, for the homes. I want everybody to come to this and just, if you could take a little bit of knowledge from it, I'm winning.
That is exactly right,
Absolutely.
man. That's what we align, and same thing with me. I figured out years ago that my life purpose is to make people happy and very successful, but have fun as we're doing it, right?
Absolutely.
And most importantly, protect your assets. I care too much. As you get to know me, I'm a big nerd on everything, right? On anything, but the biggest thing that I can nerd about is customer service and insurance.
Absolutely.
Right. So you can find us as well on social media, Trillo Insurance Co. on Instagram. We're working on our website. So exciting news happening. And also you can find my direct line, 713-324-9018 is my direct line. 713-324-9019. It's our agency number. I have an amazing operations manager named Andrea. So if you're not talking to me, you're talking to her. I'm big on personalities. I'm big on people. Andrea has a very extensive experience in underwriting and insurance servicing. So I can rest assured that our clients are taken care of.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's what we'll continue to do. If you see me out and about, because I'm a big networker just like you are,
Yes, sir.
come give me a hug, come say hello, come say hi, come ask me a question, come challenge me, come tell me a joke. I would love to connect with you. I'm a big connector. I'm big about making a difference. So with that said, Derek, I want to thank you, man. Thank you for the
brother.
opportunity to be part of your dream, to be part of your team, and to continue to help families, man, because this is something that is not just the slogan of my firm, which is peace of mind is our standard, but together everybody achieves more, man. And we're doing things that many people are not doing, but not necessarily that. We are impacting lives, guys. We are impacting you. So if you haven't called us, give us a shot. Remember, right? It's not about the shoe. It's about stepping into the shoe.
Absolutely.
Right? So give us a shot. We share our social media. This is first of many. Follow us, and there will be more.
Absolutely. And don't forget, we are roofing for a reason, guys.
Love that.
You know you're helping a good cause when you give us a call and let us assist you with your home. So give us a call.
Thank you so much, guys. And last thing, please, during these hard times, stay blessed.
Absolutely.
Stay blessed.
Absolutely.